Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Blindfolded Speedrun News. This time we have things a bit differently set up. I am now here in person. I am proud to announce that I decided to become a 100% legit and official newscaster for the Blindfolded Speedrunning community. And anyways, let's go down to business. We have, as always, many incredible runs to showcase this month. First of all, as you have probably guessed from the video already playing there, we have a new world record in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And what a crazy run that was. The legend, Summoning Salt himself, went on a journey to break the 4-year-old long-standing record. And he managed to PB even thrice in that time, getting himself an amazing time of 18 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, the run includes a round 1 Tyson fight, which apparently is the third fastest fight that ever has been completed blindfolded. He says that the run can still actually go a bit lower in time, since the Macho fight gave him a very rare pattern that lost some time. But a final goal would be right now like a 17:30. Perhaps a 16-minute run would also be possible, but if you ask me, it's absolutely incredible and I am really excited to see how all of this develops. Next up, we have Celeste. A lot of work has been done by 3 specific players this month in Celeste. And first of all, we have a new runner called Oldmeal77 finishing the Chapter 1 Golden Berry blindfolded. It's apparently getting a very popular category to blindfold. I actually think this might be the most ran IL currently in our database, to be fair. But yeah, it's amazing to see so many new people try it out. I can highly recommend it. Big GG to Oatmeal to finishing the run. Really happy that you tried blindfolded and that you enjoy it. Next up, we have Saver, the good old Saver who challenged himself with an incredibly difficult Chapter 3 blindfolded with the Golden Berry for the first time in the world. It is an incredibly long chapter with many rooms that have very tight jumps and cycles to keep track of in them. And it also is the chapter that contains the very infamous Demo Dash, which is like a very extremely precise pixel frame perfect. I don't actually know, I never played Celeste yet. But it's an incredibly precise skip that you have to nail. And the problem is if you miss that trick, you die. And in Golden Berry, you are not allowed to die a single time. So that makes this whole thing very difficult, especially since this skip is 10 minutes into the run. So if you make a little mistake, you lose all of your time, which is incredibly bad, incredibly hard. So yeah, big GG for that. Next up, we have Kleis once again here in our show. Kleis is currently routing an all red berries category for the full game. And he tried to prove with Chapter 7 this time that it is possible, and in fact it is. This category basically means getting all the collectibles within a chapter or a stage. And for a full run, you would also need to collect 4 secret or crystal hearts, I believe they are called. And he also already proved that one of these hearts is possible to collect blindfolded in Chapter 1. He did a full clear of Chapter 1, which means all collectibles plus the secret heart. But yeah, this Chapter 7 all red berry run is incredible. It is like, I believe, 40 minutes long. Really, really difficult stuff there, but amazing to see. Highly recommend to check it out. Next up, we have Sailor Moon. A bit of a more unknown game, but the Japanese runner Norishige has managed to beat the any % speedrun on normal difficulty for the first time in the world. For those who don't know, Sailor Moon R is basically a classic like 2D fighting game arcade in which you like traverse levels from left to right and beat up enemies on the way. And the game has actually been blindfolded already by 3 people on the easy difficulty, including myself, actually, but no one has ever tried the normal category of the game before. Normal, the difference is that normal changes the AI and the enemies to be much tougher, as well as adding 2 new stages to the entire run, so it's also longer in time. But very cool to see a completion of this finally. Maybe one day we'll even see a hard completion, who knows? Would be very hyped to see. Next up, let's talk a bit about Super Mario 64. In the world of Super Mario 64, there's always something happening blindfolded. Like, what is blindfolded news without SM64, right? Let's first talk about the amazing PB that Handy got recently, a few days ago, in 16 star. Because Handy is officially now the 3rd person in the world to ever get a sub 30 minute 16 star time blindfolded. Absolutely incredible if you ask me. He's just a couple of seconds behind my very own PB, which is pretty scary, to be fair. But jokes aside, he grinded this category for super long, and I am incredibly happy that he finally reached his goal of sub 30 minutes. He nailed several extremely advanced strategies in this run. For example, the so-called nobody cycle in Fire Sea, which is like a whole going up and down cycle of the elevator faster. And he also made an incredibly hard backup on this, and the run is just really incredible. I can highly recommend to watch it too. Handy now said that he wants to move on probably to 31 star or even 1 star to get some new PBs there. Definitely big GG's. Very happy that you finally got it, Handy. And also in SM64, I myself have done quite a few things again. I have first of all improved several stage RTAs, including the very difficult ones like SSL, DDD and JRB. I improved the time by quite a lot, as well as, well, attempting the very first 120 star blindfolded run in the world, which, to be fair, has not gone as really planned. I had to unfortunately quit the run after like 8 hours because there were many unfortunate deaths and mistakes that I've never seen before, and I had issues with my controller, and I just got really exhausted by it. So I just called it a day. I finished with 71 stars in around 8 hours, and rather would focus the energy to another attempt, which I will do on the 3rd of April, which probably, if this video releases, is already past, so maybe by the time this video is out there, I will have written SM64 history. Maybe not, maybe I will be back at practice every day. We will see. Nothing to be said about that yet. But besides that, I also have done a incredibly ridiculous blindfolded speedrun, probably one of the most meme runs ever done in history of blindfolded gaming. I cleared the SM64 ROM hack Desert Mario 64 in just under 8 hours. Now, what's so crazy about this? Well, it's a hack in which you have to walk down a straight road for 8 hours. And the point is, you are not allowed to go AFK, so you have to constantly jump, or long jump, or jump dive. Because if you just start walking, you get like heat and you slowly start getting damage. It's basically a remake of the original Desert Bus game, maybe some of you know it. But yeah, I did this as kind of an endurance and stamina practice for 120 star, and I had a great time. I would not recommend to do this, and I would also not recommend to watch this really and do something else with your time. But it has been done, it is documented, blindfolded gaming is advancing. So that was it for SM64. Now, once more, let's talk about Nico, as in the last few episodes too. Nico has cleared another time trial cup in Mario Kart Wii, actually. This time the Banana Cup. And let's take a second here to appreciate Nico. He finished so many incredible blindfolded runs in the past few months. I think he has the highest amount of new runs done, like in a very short amount of time. It's crazy. So big GG to you. How is it possible to ask to play Mario Kart Wii? Maybe some of you might ask. Well, Nico uses a very big mixture of different techniques. He, for example, uses getting out of bounds, for example, in like a water mode or something, to reposition himself with the Laqiunta. He uses like beat counted turns, which is very clever, as well as many other kind of little techniques. So that's really cool, and he does it in time trial mode to avoid all the randomness from other drivers and items, etc. So the goal is to beat all these 4 stages within the cup in time trial, 3 laps each. Anyways, yeah, it's really cool to see more of Mario Kart. Maybe one day we'll even see more cups or even other Mario Kart games. Would be really fun to see. Big GG for that. Up next we have one more time a very new game, which I personally have never heard before of, called Grey Box Testing. But someone sent me this video and it's pretty cool and interesting actually. DCrazio has managed to beat the game Grey Box Testing Blindfolded, and it's kind of a 3D puzzle game in first-person mode. It kind of looks similar to Portal, if you ask me. And apparently the hardest part of the run is grabbing these kind of cubes that are laying around there to solve the puzzles, because it requires timing as well as like mouse movement, which is always extremely difficult in Blindfolded. And once you hold the box, you can basically use audio cues to navigate through the stage, which makes things a bit easier at least. And he decided to run this game because it was apparently already a category on speedrun.com and it was empty. So hey, free world record, I guess, let's take it. And really happy he did. Really great run, awesome to see new runners and new runs. Very cool stuff, check it out. Next up we have Metal Gear Solid 2 Tanker Blindfolded one more time, a new completion by Mockingjay. Mockingjay took the challenge and grinded this run quite a bit actually, getting an amazing time of 9 minutes and 12 seconds, which is currently the 3rd place on the leaderboards, right behind the Lightning Strikes and Apache Smash. Also very commonly ran category these days, incredibly cool, and has a boss fight, it has movement, it has all a blindfolded run can wish for. Yeah, Tanker and Celeste Chapter 1 Golden Berry these days have really been popping off. I highly encourage anyone to try out these 2 categories if you are interested. I myself want to definitely do it in the future. What else is there to say? I guess if you need some help, the community is always happy to help. Reach out to the runners, they are all happy to help. And big GG to Mockingjay one more time, and welcome to the world of blindfolded runs. I hope you had some fun trying this. Tanker, definitely a very hard run, but for veterans of the Metal Gear Solid speedruns, I know you guys are good. You are all very talented, so big shoutouts. Happy that you bring us these runs. Last but not least, we have Kingdom Hearts 3 with an amazing showcase by Violin. And what he did is he took the hardest boss fight in Kingdom Hearts 3 called Yozora, and he did probably one of the craziest things you can do even in the game, because he beat this boss blindfolded on highest difficulty with all pro codes, which is like an additional raise to the difficulty, on level 1 without taking any damage. It's like, wow, everything, dude. It's absolutely crazy. So that's a lot of restrictions, and he did some blindfolded showcase of this fight in the past already with like less restrictions, but this definitely triumphs over all of them yet. And he even managed to do this live in front of an audience at the recent event called KH20. So super cool, extremely precise dodge rolls, parries, audio cues for setups, combos with the Keyblade, everything is included there. I highly recommend to check it out, it's so cool. So incredibly big GGs to Violin for this. I really am impressed by these boss fights as a fellow Kingdom Hearts runner. I cannot understate how difficult this is, by the way. It like probably it doesn't even look easy, but it probably looks even easier than it is. Trust me in that. So yeah, that's all the news we have today. Thank you very much for listening. As always, go follow the runners, give them some love, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss next month's episode again. Also feel free to leave a comment about which run you like the most this month, and also please tell me some feedback about this new style of news with me in person here, with a bit of more of like a freestyle speech. It's very difficult for me. I'm not very good at talking big and making these speeches, so I don't know how it actually turns out at the end. But I want to try. I want to improve as a human. You know, we all have some goals. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Have a nice month, and see you next time again. Bye bye. This month's shoutouts go to VR4300, Funkylicious, ZXMany, Bob Farrell, and Benlitz. Thank you very much for the continuous support. I really appreciate it.